Thought I'd go live with y'all real quick. I'm gonna get away from these trains real quick. I'll talk to y'all. Beautiful New York City. It's a nice sunny day, so let's make my way down the steps here. I'm gonna let y'all see Harlem because I know a lot of y'all. I'm always talking about Harlem. I'm always talking about the Bronx. I'm always talking about everywhere in my city. And unfortunately, I ain't in my city no more. I'm in the rights and frights of Connecticut. So I'm gonna take you guys on a ride through New York City. Let you guys see for yourself. You're trying too hard. Let you guys see for yourself. Basically, things are more, I would say things are more normal here than they actually are in Connecticut. In Connecticut right now, we got another batch of coronavirus that's hitting certain portions of Connecticut. And particularly the more rural parts of Connecticut, for example, more so than the Wilson here. But you can see, New York City is open and a bus, as you can see. You know, people are out, people are moving around. It's much, much more different than it is in CT right now. And which brings me to this. I think at some point or another, CT is going to need to open. And what they're going to need to do is they're going to need to somehow or another, hold on, I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see me. They're going to sooner or later have to, you know, start opening up the city so people can move around. Hope you guys can hear me a little bit better now. And I can lower this camera because I need a cigarette. So I want to talk about Jaguar Wright, the post I put up today. I've heard the shooting range, etc., etc., etc. That was definitely the culmination of it getting turned up, if you want to say, right? So with all that being said, this is the funny thing. Jaguar is on defense mode right now. And I can understand why Jaguar Wright would be on defense mode right now, dealing with Tasha K and her litany of silly examples of how to tear down another black woman, a woman of color, online. But what she didn't count on was, see, Jaguar thug. Y'all ain't know that, but Jaguar thug. And we the Jaguar's a thug from Philly, and she did what she did on many of years. It would make one guess that Jaguar Wright ain't particularly the one you want to be dealing with in such situation, right? Tasha K, she's still moving with that Atlanta move. See, down there in Atlanta, I've been down there in Atlanta. Can't say I care for living in Atlanta, but shout to Atlanta. But I definitely wouldn't live in Atlanta for many different reasons. I think people in Atlanta are good people generally. When you get out inside the area, downtown ATL, everything's straight. But in downtown ATL, things are a little crazy. And as far as I know, this is where Tasha K resides. Am I right or wrong? So with that being said, I want to bring up the question again. Why does this sister want to tear down another black woman online? And why am I in the middle of it now? I feel like I'm playing both positions. I'm playing one position of defending Jaguar Wright. At the same time, I'm defending another position of saying, well, Tasha K does have the right to say what she want to say. And she does have the right to bring up what she want to bring up. You know what I mean? So we don't want to take that from her. Because on YouTube, you got to remember, Google owns YouTube, so we're just guests. Thank you, brother. So we're just guests, all right? You don't own any of the content on YouTube. It's not your, let me slow down a little bit. It's not your content. You can rip the content or put the content in a cloud, but literally you cannot, by any means whatsoever, take the same content and try to lease it or release it or whatever on your own platforms. There will be something that comes up in YouTube's clause laws, and it will tell you very specifically, that you cannot, by any means whatsoever, ever use their platform outside of them owning a copy of the same material that you posted. So that means that all the material that Tasha K has posted up, she actually doesn't own it. YouTube owns it, or Google rather. When I saw Jaguar this morning and I posted that video and I saw her at the gun range, I said to myself this, I said, yeah, Jaguar over there right now, because she need to be over there. She need to be over there because of the stuff people are putting on her page. She evidently needs to be on there because of old soft, moist, if I want to say, moist Talib Kweli, who I've also had my own dealings with Talib Kweli. My dealings with Talib Kweli are gonna literally take about an hour and a half to let y'all know what it is, but I'm gonna bring it up. I even got the screenshots and the videos to prove it. So Talib Kweli is a chump, you know what I mean? And that's why her husband called him a chump too. And I like Jaguar's husband. Seems like a real stand-up dude. See, I came to Harlem to talk about this because I could talk about what I wore to in Harlem. Out there in Connecticut, it's too raw. I can't talk about what I want to talk about like I can talk about in the town. That's why I had to come home. Plain simple fact, Jaguar, if you do anything to this chick, you know what she gonna do. She gonna try to sue you. She gonna try to do whatever she can to you. She gonna try to run you under the ground. She gonna try to do whatever. And she gonna do this all simply off the fact that she's gonna try to play victim. See, Jaguar, you up against a professional victim. You understand what I'm saying? And professional victims move in such a way where they start trouble and then they go back and then they say, oh, officer or whoever, I've been harmed, I've been bothered, I've been acousted, I've been led astray, etc., etc., etc. You dig? Now, this is the funny thing. Y'all gonna watch this all play out as I tell y'all with Jaguar and with Tasha. At the end of this, Tasha's gonna make herself seem like she's a victim, and she ain't no victim. If anything, you're passive aggressive and you're the instigator. You understand? But this is online, so we're gonna keep it online. But I'm gonna tell you what, from that video I saw today, it don't look like Jaguar wanna keep it online. Jaguar ready for anything. You see, you gotta understand, within a 24-hour cycle, I will have people come on my page. I've had people come on my page and threaten me. I've had people come on my page. I had somebody just last night say, I'm a BITCH and so is Jaguar. And I've got a filter on my comments on YouTube. So usually either they'll disappear completely and they won't be able to be posted, but I'll still see that somebody attempted to be posted by the notifications. That's why I'm always so quick to respond to you guys and everything like that, because actually I see the posts that come up in my phone. So it's nothing. I got it on, that's why I respond to y'all so quickly. But when we're talking about Jaguar and we're talking about somebody now that's going to the gun range and everything like that, and now feeling that she's got to protect herself against someone, another black woman at that. You start sooner or later, start saying to yourself, maybe it's so, or maybe not. Maybe with some point, this will all stop, right? Maybe Tasha K won't be doing what she's doing no more. Maybe Tasha K will calm down. She'll turn it down a little bit. Nah, Tasha K want to turn all the way up. So I say turn up with Tasha K. If that's the type of energy you putting out, if that's the type of energy that you want people to know you by, Tasha K, do your thing. 100, it's nothing. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's this. And this on loan. It was all right. So at the end of the day, it's this and this alone. Tasha K ain't a problem. In fact, Tasha K is a freaking joke if you ask me. But the one thing remains is this. Through all that stuff that Tasha K is doing, I want you to remember the energy you putting out, because the energy you putting out, Tasha K, can get you in a situation. I'm gonna say to you one more time, I put up a video, it's there for you to view it. Jaguar went to the shooting range. She went to the shooting range, and more aptly, I'm glad she went to the shooting range where she did. I think there's a lot of people that are so narcissistic and so much of followers on YouTube or whatever, that nowadays, the thing they do is they try to sit back and they try to create scenarios. I'm not creating a scenario. I'm telling my real life. Jaguar's telling her real life. A lot of other people on the internet telling their real life. And so many times it gets substituted for and diluted by these people that's online that's lying. Now, Tasha K want to call Jaguar a liar, right? And claim she got receipts. If her receipts mean going and interviewing somebody's freaking son or whatever. And I'm gonna throw up a clip in a little bit. I already hit her, but I'm gonna throw up a clip in a little bit. My homegirl Patrice, who you guys always see in the chat room, I don't know where she is yet. My homegirl Patrice, she actually went about her way and she did something else was more important. You see me online right now. No, I can't. So anyway, long story short, the whole time the Jaguar Wright is online, the whole time that she's soaking in everything in the comments section, people coming on her page and everything else, at the same time, you got to ask yourself this. Tasha, are you ready for that type of energy? You might have to duck like the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Tasha, out here. You know what I'm saying, Tasha? You know what I'm saying? While you out handing out Christmas presents and all that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tagged me on that too and said, oh, Tasha's real. She been handing out clothes to the children and she cared. She don't care. She don't care nothing about them people. Them people is pawns. You understand what I'm saying? Checker pieces, chess pieces. You understand? And all the people in that video, I'm willing to bet amount of money, small amount of money, that she know them people. Ain't nothing authentic about her. Like, her whole wave is just like messed up. Like, it's not about drip, it's not about style, it's not about none of that. That's simple shit. It's more so about a woman who is so narcissistic that she does not even care about the culture. She wants to destroy within her own, and that I have a problem with. I put up a quote, and I hope you guys saw it in one of the posts or whatever, and it was several Bible passages about gossiping. I also put up another one that was very, 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 very familiar, which was all that had to do with one thing, and that was not only gossiping, but showing off as you give someone something. See, I have a problem with people that show off when they do something for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So let's say the story was authentic. Let's take it from that perspective. Let's say the story was authentic and Tasha K ain't Chuck. All right, so now we run into this one. If that was the case and it was authentic, why do you take video cameras to the people's houses when you giving them presents? Give them presents in silence. That was my point of throwing up that quote from the Bible. If you're gonna give somebody something, if you're gonna do something for somebody, don't be like, here you go, and then hand them something with the camera. You understand? It looks unauthentic, it looks crazy, it looks stupid, and more importantly enough, it ain't doing nothing for the people. You ain't doing nothing for nobody in the community. You ain't doing nothing no good for anybody that's in the diaspora or anything else. You just Chuck. You know what I mean? And I can't respect that. So, if y'all ask me why I'm going so hard at Tasha K, do I have a problem with Tasha K? No, I don't. The whole subject and premise here is myself and Jaguar Wright. And shout out to Patrice. I'm gonna throw up you guys got to go check out Patrice's interview with Jaguar Wright on, I think it's 702 out there. Is it 702? I don't know Patrice here yet, but I think it's 702 or something like that. I gotta find out, but it's either, I think it's in Texas or Vegas, one of the two. Very informative. I caught probably like 20 minutes of it. I fast forwarded it to Jaguar's part where they started talking about her. So, and not to say that the rest of the material, Patrice was good too, but I just wanted to get to that point. I wanted to get to the, you know what I'm saying? And when I got to the interview, I heard Jaguar say a whole bunch of stuff in it. In fact, I saw something that confused me earlier today and I didn't know where to take it. So I had to wait actually before I could post it, which I guess Jaguar at the moment was talking about her niece. And in the video, I guess her niece did something that wouldn't talk to the media or something like that. So I didn't know what her niece's name was or her half sister or something like that. But she actually talks about her in the interview, which is really, you know what I'm saying? It kind of connected everything for me. So I was kind of lost at first with the connection or whatever. Now I know, you know what I'm saying? That's her half sister that she's speaking about. I believe her name is Crystal or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I saw that. Now, you know, I posted it up. You know what I mean? I said, you know, I'm put it to the side, see what it's about, because I didn't know who the girl she was talking about. So unlike unlike Tasha K, I'm not like Tasha K. I don't post stuff up and I don't know what it is. You get what I'm saying? Because you could be posting something up and don't know how personal that is to somebody else. Now, Jaguar was talking about her half sister. I don't know Jaguar's half sister. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know Jaguar either. Now I know some circles that Jaguar's been around because we all be in the same circles as musicians. So, and she worked with so-and-so, she worked with this manager, she worked with that manager, she worked with Kurt. Kurt do stuff like live bands and all that. Shout out to Kurt, he from Jersey, you know what I mean? So, it's like, those are the people that would know Jaguar Wright. With artists like myself, like R&B and rap artists or whatever, we more electronica. Like, you'll get some of the renditions and some of the compositions that'll be like, you know what I mean? Live instrumentation, but I don't do stuff like the Roots. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's dope. I've seen Jay-Z do it. I've seen numerous rappers do it. I've seen Wu-Tang do it. I've seen a lot of other people do it. It's nothing. I invite it, you know what I mean? But that's not my mantra, and that's not what I've stuck by as far as a performing artist. So That's why, if you want to ask me the question, just as I said yesterday, why it takes so much attention. Not only was Jaguar Wright part and purpose of me actually getting views and everything else and selling, you know what I mean, in this whole YouTube ecosphere, you want to call it, but also Jaguar Wright was essential in one other thing. She made me come alive, you know? Up to date right now, I've got to close to almost 1 million views within a month and a half. You know what I'm saying? And I think Jaguar's a little bit past me. You know what I mean? The viewership shows. I appreciate y'all coming back. Make sure y'all hit those like buttons. I've been all right, Portia. How you doing? I hate that too. Leave the camera at home, Latia said. Yeah, leave the camera at home. Facts. Like, why you got the camera on? Like, and in case y'all wonder, I'm back in New York right now. I came to New York for the day because I ain't get to come down for Christmas. I ain't get to come down for nothing. So I said, yo, you know what? At least I can come down for the day real quick. You know what I mean? Then go back home. I don't want you. And then come back home or whatever. It always be chicks that be like subpar looking, that be looking at you like you want them. Come on, Pa. You're doing too much. You know what I mean? Like, doing too much. Motherfuckers always doing too much. You know what I mean? But it's nothing. I just hate when subpar women look at me as if I want them. Like, bro, I have models, video chicks, and everything else. I work for a motherfucking brick company. You think I want you? You look, everything about you say Section 8 and kids at home. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess with those Section 8 chicks. Hey, I live in the suburbs. Fucking around. I ain't never got that flitty. But I don't fuck with chicks like that. You always get problems when you mess with chicks like that. You know what I mean? Like, you mess with some chick in the hood, she got like 7 or 8 kids. You don't know who the kids by. She fronting like she got everything together. Next thing you know, no, who's that? Oh, that's my baby daddy, Daquan. Now you got a problem. You sitting up in the house. You trying to call motherfucker, say, yo, son, come through. You know what I mean? So it can get a sticky situation. So that's why I don't date chicks like that got that Section 8 look and 5 kids at home type shit going on. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to say that all women with children are bad, but it just don't work for me. Every time I meet women like that, they always heavy into gossiping. They always on the phone. They always find time to be on the phone. I'm like, how you got time to be on the phone? You got like 3 or 4 kids. Like, I don't get it. But they always on the phone with somebody. I'll have chicks pass by me on my life. Chicks will pass by me and they pushing a baby stroller. Anybody else ever seen this? They pushing a baby stroller while talking on the phone. I'm like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? So your dedication to your conversation is that deep. You know what I mean? So yeah, on that aspect, hell no, I don't do those. Yeah, no, it ain't about, like I said, it's Portia. Listen, it's not about kids. It's about the fact of, I would take 2 things into consideration. The first thing I would take into consideration is, how are your children? Or you have good children? And if you have good children, then we're talking about a whole different dynamic of conversation. You know what I'm saying? I can even rock with you on that one. But I don't have no kids. That's the point. And so, it being that I don't have any kids, it's like anytime I jump myself into a relationship, you're jumping yourself into a ready-made family. You understand what I'm saying? Now, along with that ready-made family comes certain responsibilities, meaning, first of all, financially. Are you prepared for that? You have to ask yourself first, am I prepared as a person that, don't worry about that, somebody else pretend. Like, I'm gonna get into the men too, because the men got a real big part to do with this as well, Black and Latin. The point I'm getting at is, what you say? Grown kids, facto. Like, grown kids is a different thing too, because if I think what you're saying, Portia, you're saying like what, if your kid's like 14, 15, 16? Is that what you mean? Let me know if that's what you mean. I want to make sure that's what you're saying before I answer that. So let me know that's what you're saying. All right. So yeah, if it's the older kid, it kind of becomes a bigger problem, because if it's an older kid, what happens sometimes is, if it's an older kid, what happens sometimes is this. That kid still has had contact with the father, family, whatever, and they might have a situation or relationship, or out of the house. Yeah, that's a question too, because then you if you come over there and pop up, who lay in the bed with mama? You understand? Mama, who you got over here at the house with us? At 3 o'clock in the morning. Mama, I told you, you gotta cut this shit out. You gotta cut this out, Mama. All these men can't be coming over here. I run when I see men with kids. I run when I see men with kids. No thanks. Don't want that responsibility, especially baby mama drama. I'm good. See, and that's the same thing I was gonna say. I know some guys that are single fathers. I know quite a few of them. And I'm gonna get back into Jaguar, but y'all rock with me. I know a few men that don't get the notoriety they should and are good fathers. You know what I mean? And single fathers. And a lot of times, you know, depending on the women you're dealing with, you'll have these women that will bash these men and say whatever they're gonna say about these men. But in reality, at the end of the day, when your ass end up in college, when those kids end up in college, there's one thing that's right here said and not said. Thank you, brother. The one thing that's not said is this. The one thing that's not said, if y'all wonder what's going on, these are brothers out here, because I know y'all never really get to see stuff like this. These are brothers out here with the final call. This is classic right here. You heard? So if y'all ever on 125th, y'all coming up the block, make sure y'all check these brothers out right here. Yes, praise be. Thank y'all. Thank you. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right. And he just gave me one. See that? That's why you got to be good to people. Let me show y'all one more time. That's what happens when y'all good to people. When you nice and you sincere, see, not that nasty stuff that be on the internet. Hold on one second. Show y'all this. Hold on, let me move this cup out the way so I can show y'all this real quick. This is the authentic final call. Now, I've been coming up and down this block all my life, pretty much, my adult life. But this is the real final call. So when y'all see all the brothers out there, whatever, this is the real final call right here. Hold on, I'm gonna open this up for y'all so y'all can see. You see the Minister Farrakhan right there on the back of it. And I actually just saw this speech. Not this speech, was it this speech? I think it might have been this speech, or no, this was something that was a little bit more recent. And he had one, he was talking about black men and everything like that. But make sure if y'all ever on 125th and y'all walking up the block, make sure y'all check these brothers right there on the corner of Lenox and Malcolm X. So make sure y'all go right there. If y'all see them, they're always in this area. You know what I mean? Like I said, since I was a kid, either right here or they right across the street right there. That's where y'all go catch them again. You know what I'm saying? But final call, I want to make sure I promote that. You know what I mean? Because the minister got me through a couple of moments in my life, including this current one. So let me turn this back around again, all right? So guys, I'm telling you, and I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, people like Tasha K that are salacious against your own people, and that's ironic I ran into the brothers on the block. That's God trying to tell me something. People that are salacious like Tasha K online, and especially salacious to their own people, that's why I threw up that post that was about the Bible, and the Bible talking about gossiping, and the Bible talking about also the biggest thing, which was showing your deeds out loud when you do something nice for somebody. You see what I'm saying? Now, I just did that, but I did that with intention of promoting the brothers. You know what I mean? The final call has always been important amongst the people. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have walked past those brothers and not shown y'all the final call and all that or whatever, it would have been something else. I'm walking up here right now, see my man get some shea butter. My man got the 3 holidays of shea butter. So I'll be always grabbing those. So whatever, man. So, you know, it is what it is. Yo, guys, Cash App, Stringer Bell 80. Make sure y'all hit me up on that or whatever. I had to leave up out of there, man. Let me go into you know what I'm saying? Yeah, 120, 125. Y'all want to see? Y'all want to see? I'm going to show y'all the block. Hold on. Because a lot of y'all ain't never seen New York before. So this is all Harlem right here. We're on the east side right now. This is all 125, etc. I don't know where y'all can see that or not. This is a block. I've been coming up and down this block since I was a kid. Like literally. Got stories on these streets. That's a fact. That's factory. Like we got stories out here. I'm going, thank you, Pop. So yeah, man. Oh, they got a line now for H&M again. So they doing, I guess they doing their thing. Yeah, so the reason I don't talk in depth as much as I should to you guys or whatever when I'm online with you is because I feel honestly and truthfully like I'm crowded up in there. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all seen my previous videos where I talk about what's going on over there. You know, some people hear it, some people don't. You already know. But those that do hear it, I appreciate y'all for putting in y'all effort. I ain't looking. So I mean, you 6 me think you looking at them. I'm looking at the hats. got one of these joints on right now. I'm talking about the scarf thing, if y'all know what I'm talking about. You got some wavy stuff though. Huh. More for girls though. Marceline? On the glass. Anyway, so I tried to tell him thank you. He said, all mean and shit. I said, Mandigla, like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm always like that. I told y'all, I'm always like that. So people be thinking I'm offy when I'm online with them. I'll be like, nah, I ain't offy. That's just how I am. You say some dumb, like that chick that came in the other day, what was her name? Star in the morning or Star in the evening or whatever the fuck her name was. Yeah, she had said something goofy, and I was like, yo, what are you talking about right now? Jaguar Wright, even though I don't like talking about him too much, Jaguar Wright has one of these problems. She's put in a position now where she might have to do something to Tasha K. And those Tasha K loyalists, I guess you want to call them, I don't know. Those Tasha K loyalists that are on her page, they're ready to go to the full distance for her, evidently. And I don't understand it. So I try to look at it in perspective of this. I said to myself, I said, if these people are willing to come to my page and on my page tell me whatever they want to say and what they're going to do to me, what they're going to do to Jaguar, I told you, pull on up, I got something for you. For real, all facts. Like, I don't sit around and threaten people online because there's no use in it, especially if you live in another state. But I will send my address. You can send your address. I've done this before and shown up. You know what I'm saying? Don't mistake because I'm little that I won't get busy on you. I'm a 3-time felon, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever make that mistake. That's just the point. You know? So I say this, Jaguar, don't put yourself in a predicament where Tasha K is going to take you too much out of line. I know it was a little bit too much with her messing with your son. I understand that. I know it was a little bit too much her running back and doing what she did with your ex-husband, his sissy ass. You know what I mean? I get it, because he is a sissy for that. But what I want to tell you is this. Don't let these people take you out of character, because what they're going to do with these videos is they're going to try to eventually make you look like you're crazy. And once they try to eventually make you look like you're crazy, what they're going to do is they're going to take those videos, compile them together, and what they're going to say is, here's a video example of how Jaguar Wright has it messed up. That's what's going to happen in there. So, Jaguar, if I were you, stop engaging with her. Correct her when she do something wrong. Talk to her when she do something wrong. But other than that, don't worry about that. That's wavy. Other than that, don't worry about that. Hold on, I got to show y'all this. Y'all don't see this too much. My man got the Sade joint on here. That's wavy. How much you charge for that? $30. Y'all see him here on Harlem? You know what I mean? Just run through his joints real quick. I got mad viewers, man, so I'm just, you know what I mean? Doing this for the hood. Harlem. Y'all know that guy right there, right? So these are all vendors that are out here. So if y'all coming here for New Year's, whatever, come up 125th. What's it? We on 125th Malcolm X. Yeah, Malcolm X. Yeah. Thank you, bro. All right. Yeah, so I always like to do that. Yeah, that was Kaepernick on his shirt. You already know. We got to do that. Show people, you know what I mean? Oh, here come my man Conway. Hold on one second. Upstate New York boys. Hold on, I'm going to show y'all the joint. That's his, what's the name right there for his album. That's wavy. Hold on, let me turn this around, y'all. Yeah, so don't let them people take you out of your condition, Jaguar. That's all we saying, though, because it seems like that's what's going on. So I just say that to Jaguar, Tasha K. I'm going to say to her, you got to stop it. You looking crazy in these streets, and sooner or later somebody going to get busy with you. And I don't think you're prepared for that. You understand? You understand? So I'm going to leave it at that. Other than that, y'all, I wanted to tell y'all this last little part, and I'm going to get up on out of here. As many of y'all know, and as I've made no qualms about whatsoever, whether it be my history in the music industry or whatever the case else may be, I've never made any qualms about staying in a freaking homeless shelter. I came down here today because I needed a peace of freaking mind. You know that? Being up around them folks and all that stuff, whatever, and I'm right here in front of the Apollo Theater in case y'all want to see. Being around them folks all day long, dealing with them folks all day long is a lot. You know, right now, currently, this nigga just beside me is a dope head. And now she talking about the new director talking about she want to test people or something. I just want to throw this in there. We have never been tested since we got up in there. I'm talking about this homeless shelter place. We have never been repeatedly tested. The only reason that there's a guy next to me, I don't know why, but whatever the case may be, they've decided to put this selective dope head who goes into the bathroom nightly and sniffs dope, white dude, goes to the bathroom, sniffs dope nightly. And I don't say nothing about it because I'm no snitch, you know what I'm saying? But we all know. There's no forward movement for me and give me housing or anything else or whatever. You see day to day, if I don't have somewhere to go between the hours of 10 and 5, I'm stuck out in the cold. So guys, when I ask you, donate to the Cash App or whatever, right now, today will be one of those particular days. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is I left out of there because the only thing I'm doing is moving around and walking around all day until it's time to go back to that homeless shelter. And I'm like, yo, I'm tired of that. So, you know what I'm saying? Forget the homeless shelter today. I didn't get to come down here for Christmas and see my friends. I didn't get to come down here for New Year's and see my friends. Thanksgiving to see my friends because of pure simple fact of the COVID rules they got in Connecticut now. You know what I'm saying? And it breaks my heart. I had people calling me like, yo, how come you ain't down here? How come you ain't here? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, yo, I can't come down because the damn COVID rules and all that stuff or whatever got us messed up. The stuff they doing out there with the COVID stuff versus the stuff they doing here, as you can see, New York City is open. You understand? So they need to get Connecticut open like this and keep it moving. When y'all see me do the lives out there in that town dead, son. It's dead. You understand? And the reason it's dead because they don't have any commerce moving. They don't have any businesses opening. The businesses are having to close at 10. So therefore, they're really having to shut down by 8:30. You understand? And the little bit of restaurants and stuff, that bars that they do have out there, I'm talking about in Connecticut where I'm at, unfortunately, ain't really, you know what I'm saying, sized up for us. They ain't for us. You understand what I mean? If you get what I'm saying. Most of them are white-owned, white proprietary. So yeah, it's great being in Connecticut. It's great being back out in the suburbs. But at the same time, I miss New York. You know what I mean? It's a home. So that's why I came down here today. I came down here just to get out of CT for one, be around people I know just for a couple of minutes or whatever. But I'm going to have to jump back on this train to get back. So if any of you guys could or would or interested or whatever, I'll find it back anyway. Stringer Bell 80 on Cash App. I ain't getting nothing for Christmas, none of that. So I ain't here complaining, crying about my life or whatever. I ain't crying because I spent it alone and nothing like that. I'm just, just for that and that's it. So Cash App, Stringer Bell 80. The link's in the description. Also, PayPal links in the description. If y'all choose to donate to that, I appreciate it. But I need a peace of mind today. And if I say, as I always say, if y'all would go out of distance to paper Tasha K up and don't paper me and Jaguar up, then maybe there's something wrong with you. Other than that, guys, world famous Apollo Theater. How you doing, sister? World famous Apollo Theater out here. This thing is pretty ass woman. Oh, y'all excuse me. She was fine as hell too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Yeah, I will. Let me let y'all look at Harlem one more time. You know what I'm saying? This is Apollo Theater. I know y'all just see me standing behind it or whatever. I done seen this all my life, but I know y'all everywhere. How you doing? I know y'all everywhere, so I just want to make sure y'all get to see Harlem, see what it's about, see that Harlem is open. Harlem is open, you dig? Harlem is open. So come in, shop for the New Year's and all that good stuff or whatever. There's a lot of vendors on these streets. Y'all done seen me record some of them. I got the brothers down the block from the nation. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, now everybody want to tune in. All right, I'm going to stay with y'all for about 20 more minutes because everybody want to tune in now. All right, so promoting businesses is a structure that we need. That little $600, I want to update y'all on that before I go, though. That's one thing I didn't talk about, I want to talk about. The new stimulus. All right, there's a vote today separately from the rest of the stimulus for $2,000 that they're going to vote on between a bipartisan majority of Republicans and Democrats. And that's separate from the bill that was actually signed last night that was actually derailed for probably like 2 or 3 days while Trump went on vacation or whatever, right? So now that that's been signed and now it's been put into action, being that certain provisions be amended within the previous bill that they proposed to Trump and he refused to sign, there's quite a possibility that we might not only see, and a lot of people are projecting this, a $2,000 check, but we also might see the $600 check. We also may see a $2,000 check over top of that if this proposal was voted on and passed today. Now, you have a few Republicans like Rand Paul and a few other people that don't want to see people get anything. Instead, what they want to do is they just want to open up the country unilaterally, no matter where you are, no matter what your COVID case number is, COVID death numbers is, or whatever the case may be, and just leave everything open. Which most of us do agree that's the wrong decision to make. And no matter how much we argue that or whatever, at the end of the day, it's up to Congress and Senate to decide whatever their position is going to be. But if we could get $2,600 into the hands of American citizens right now, I think it would not only just do good for the economy, but it would also do good for the neighborhoods and pre-existing neighborhoods and the businesses out here. There are dozens of guys out here with tables. There are dozens of guys out here that have products on the table to sell. There are dozens of guys out here that have the shops open, that are open for business, and they're just not getting the business because of the COVID rules that are in place and how people are feeling more and more nervous being out in public. You understand? And a lot of things go into particularly the infrastructure of that. I don't want to get that mistaken. There's a lot of different variables. Mayor de Blasio here in New York City is one of them. You know, there was a lot of things that he was supposed to do that he said in his constituency that he was going to pass or get done prior and pre-pandemic. You understand? And those things weren't taken care of. And that's what you're seeing as a result, is you're seeing a whole bunch of things that weren't amended, a whole bunch of things that weren't taken care of when they should have been taken care of, now come to bite him in the back of the butt. All right, so that's what's basically happening here in New York City. Now, as far as Congress, and I say this from an example and from a position that I haven't been living here now for 4 months. I'm out in Connecticut, so I got to keep that in mind. But I'm here frequently enough, more so now, that I know what's going on here. All my friends are here. You know, I don't have to. I could be gone for 4 months and not miss a beat of what's going on here. In other words, you know. But what more makes me distraught is the fact that there's a lot of Black and Spanish people that need those checks, and the fact that they're not getting those checks, it makes me sit and wonder and say to not only to myself, once they get the checks, will everything be better? Y'all hit those like buttons. Thank you so much. And Stringer Bell 80 on the Cash App and PayPal links in the description. Please hit those like buttons. I'm wondering to myself, is this actually going to be like a sob to just basically kind of like put a Band-Aid per se? Now we know the $600 checks are coming out. When they'll show up, next week, this week, I don't know. Purportedly, it was supposed to be this week. There's still a possibility, maybe later in the week, and I'm hoping that's the case. A lot of people need those checks or need a bonus to their checks. Now, we have a lot of people, and I want to talk about this last too, and I'm going to leave. And I want to say this right here in the hood. There's a lot of you in the hood that for years upon years have been making money off the backs of the citizens and the people in the hoods, whether it be the high rises, the corners, or whatever. And that's okay. That's okay. I participated in it too. But let me tell you something that the Black Panthers knew, the Puerto Rican Party knew back in the 80s, and a couple of other ones. They knew this. When it was time to kick in and it was time to take care of the people in the neighborhood, that you do such. You understand? Now, I see video after video, and I put up video after video of snapshots and everything else of white people in their communities helping other white people. You understand what I'm saying? And I say to myself, okay, well, where's the Black and Spanish folks helping out Black and Spanish people? And instead, what I see online is a whole bunch of bragging, a whole bunch of boastly, that's what we call it, boastly. It's a whole bunch of that going on. So I'm saying to myself, and I'm thinking, the people that are actually saying this, in a lot of cases, are people that work at McDonald's, people that work third shift at Target, people that work second shift at Walmart, are sitting now on top of people of color, the same people, and saying, oh, I'm better than you because I'm working right now. You shining during a pandemic? You shining through a pandemic. That sounds like a weak man to me. And if you're a woman saying this stuff, you're a weak woman too, because this is the only time in history that you have ever, as a nurse, as a blue-collar worker, which I would assume would be uneducated in most cases, and I'm talking about not uneducated meaning that you didn't pass grammar school. I mean uneducated such as myself, you didn't pass that achievement of, you want to say, academic success. You know what I mean? You didn't reach that plateau. So therefore, you are subjugated to certain type of jobs. Now, being that those certain type of jobs are still open, there's a lot of people feeling that normally wouldn't be important and normally people wouldn't pay attention to, feeling real special right now because they have a blue-collar job. And I say to them, no, I'm on the phone. It's okay. So I feel that a lot of Black and Spanish people need to start putting an interest in their own communities philanthropic wise. There's a lot of girls that are walking up and down the street acting like they're rich right now, when in fact you're pulling right up into the high rises just like the rest of them. Okay? Just because you work third shift at Burger King don't make you a star, sweetheart. I hate to break it to you, but you seem like a star now. There are over 3 million people in the United States currently that are out of work and depending on those stimulus checks to come through. So I find it not only an insult, but I think we should start questioning people in the culture that are Black and Latino this question. If you're better than everybody else, right? If you're better than everybody else, and you're better than everybody else because you're working at McDonald's, or, you know, you got the newest sneakers on during pandemic. If you're that person, I think it's that we ask the question, do we need to get people like you the hell up out of the way so the rest of the culture can prosper? Do we need to get people out of the way to support messages like Tasha K over Jaguar Wright? But people who will mistakenly put up a video of Jay Prince Jr. arguing with Joe Budden, and everybody just pointing out, oh, well, he thinks he's talking to DJ Academics. Who cares? The sentiment is the same. Joe Budden has said things. Joe Budden's on our roster. Okay, he's part of Revolt TV. All right, he may not be on Revolt as a platform, but his platform, one of his platforms is on Revolt TV. All right, so let's make no mistake, he's part of the branch here. All right, so shout out to this guy. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was this. Who's going to do it? Is it going to be our multimillionaires? Thank you, Queenie. Is it going to be our multimillionaires? Is it going to be our billionaires? Who's going to save us? And I think that's the question that Ice Cube was asking, and it got matriculated into the wrong way. I think that a lot of people that ask that question, see, this is what I mean. Like, you will see these men of color walk up and down the street and mean face every man of color on the street. But as soon as they get in front of somebody white, they smiling and tap dancing. This is a problem. And the mothers are teaching, unfortunately, these kids not to fight against it, not to say anything against it. Just let it be like that, become like that, in fact. If you encourage that, young mothers, what you're going to have is you're going to see what's happening in society right now. You're seeing the tearing down of men of color, and nobody cares. I go up and down this block on 125th Street. I go back up and down the block in Connecticut. It's the same thing in the tri-state. You see nothing but men of color and white men on the streets, and nobody cares. You know, I do my part, I contribute my part, many other people contribute their part, or whatever, but as long as you take the notion that you are better than these people, or you are somebody, or that don't stare at me in my neighborhood. Thank you. The point is, if you are one of these people that do nothing to help the culture, if you're one of these people that goes around mean mugging men of color that look exactly like you and have nothing to offer, nothing to contribute, then like I said, maybe you're part of the problem within the culture as well as a Tasha K, Cynthia G, or any of these other freaking clowns that are on here. Because if you're sitting right now and your grand purpose during the day is to go out and stunt on other people that look like you, but you scared to say something to white people when they jump in your face or when the police pull up, officer, I'm sorry, right? You know how to buck up then, don't you? And that's for the Spanish and black ones. Both polite. A lot of people in the Latino culture try to pretend like there's not things going on within the culture and everything's just peachy and dory. Let's stop pretending. You're the second highest prison population there is, the men. And the women are rising. If you don't believe me, look up the DOC, Department of Corrections, demographics for the year of 2019. You will see such is true. Matter of fact, I'll post them myself like I do with everything else. You don't have to believe me. Look at the statistics, the demographics, and the stats, and that'll tell you and lead you to where you need to be. So, how dare you, people of color, have you been that brainwashed now that you let people like Tasha K and people like that lead you and run into the notion that if I'm just like them, I'm better than everybody. You want to be better than your own people, but at the same time, you don't want to be better than the whites that have systematically just come down on you. I have a homegirl in Texas. She's Mexican. Her name is Donna, real good friend of mine. We met through Facebook. They have some anti-Mexican sentiment that's going on right now down in Texas that you would not believe. But yet and still in the Northeast, when you get these same Latinos, they will side with the most poor trash of white people. You know, we're not talking about doctors and lawyers. We're talking about janitors. You know, the doorman at the hotel. This is their friends. You know, this is the people they put their trust and all goal into. You know, and I got to say, Spanish folks, black folks, you're making a mistake, because I've seen black folks do the same thing too. They get head-on first friends with the janitor, or head-on friends first with the doorman, or, you know, and then all of a sudden they're in a position, you know what I mean, in their mind. But what it really evokes to me is you ain't never been nowhere. You've never been around certain type of people, you've never been around certain tier people, and therefore that's why you're acting out the way you're acting out. You understand? But what I really have a problem is when you start that acting out towards your own. Help people that really need it, and stop helping people that take advantage of you, like Tasha K and Cynthia G and all these other weirdos that care nothing about black people, the culture, or black women, or apparently with Tasha K, or black men, who are most suffering right now, in my opinion, only to be coupled by white men in this whole pandemic. That's all I see on the street is black men and white men. It doesn't matter if I'm here, Connecticut, or Jersey, and all three of them is the same. So I'm saying to you this is I come on here all the time and I talk about my PayPal and Stringer Bell 80 or whatever. Especially today, I appreciate if y'all donate to me. But more importantly, if you see somebody stand in front of a restaurant, or you see a businessman that's standing there and you walked up the block and went back down the block, and you see that he had done in business, buy something from him. A lot of these guys here on 125th Street, they got stuff for $5, $3, whatever you can afford if you're in the New York City area. So make sure you purchase from me. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Stringer Bell 80 is a link. It's also a PayPal link in the description. And I'll say once again, stop running around trying to act like you're better than people when most of you that are doing it, you're uneducated. You didn't go to the same freaking college I went to. I didn't see you there. You've never been on any of the trips I've been on. I didn't see you there. And I damn sure wasn't at 1540 Broadway, 1880, 8th Avenue, or any of the others. And I didn't see you in Atlantic Records. I didn't see you in Interscope Records or anywhere else. So see, as quick as people try to do that little twin and try to act like they're better than everybody, I could do it quicker and more heinous. I've tore people down in my comment section. I say, you unaccomplished MFer. And that's why I stand by. Guys, I'll be back with you in a little bit. I got to get going. I'm on limited time, but please hit up my Cash App today, if any day. Stringer Bell 80, that's $STRINGERBELL 80. There's also a PayPal link in the description or whatever. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I stay at a homeless shelter and I wasn't able to leave both Thanksgiving or Christmas, you know, because of these COVID rules. And it's unfortunate because so many people want to leave and go see their families and they couldn't do it. So I say to you one more time, and I stress this out more than anything. Make sure you start looking at men of color and try to help them. Start looking at your people, and whether they're women or men. I want to reiterate that, women or men. Start helping them instead of raising your eyebrow and acting like you're better than them when you're only working a $15 hour job at H&M or at McDonald's or Dwayne Reed. You haven't really exactly set the world on fire. And as far as resumes, I will tear you apart. So remember that when you're writing that in my comment section. Guys, hit that like button, and will somebody write in my, what's the name, Cash App at the bottom for me before I log out? And also I want to say, Patrice, wonderful interview. I saw the interview with you and Jaguar Wright. I'm going to watch some more of it, check it out. I'm going to put up a clip and also the link in the description box. Just give me a little bit to do that. I want Patrice to get as much attention as she can. That sister has looked out so much for me. Let me tell you, and I say this all the time. As I'm on here, my viewership is mostly females, okay? My whole viewership is mostly females. And I would say out of the 42% of men that come to my page, most of them have either something negative to say or some key shit like they sissies. And I don't deal with sissies. I grew up with my daddy, I grew up with my uncles, I threw footballs and stuff like that. So I don't understand that sissy behavior. You understand what I'm saying? I don't understand men parading in front of other men, trying to show off the clothes. I don't understand another man circling around another man, trying to make another man look at him. In my opinion, you're looking for a date. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's the case or whatever the case it is, but some of y'all men, y'all got to start getting together on the terms of stop walking around staring at other men of color as if that person's going to attack you. Well, many times these men don't even want to do it. There has to be a new decorum. And I think the next live that I do here, after this one in about an hour or two, I'm going to speak on that because I think it needs to be a new decorum. I think right now that the men themselves need to start asking the question, are we going to start helping our own men to watch us as not only a gender of men, but a culture and gender of men demolish? And that's what's going to happen. It may not happen right now, but 5-10 years from now, that's what you're going to see. And many other cultures previous to ours, including the Greeks, including other cultures, have demised themselves and ceased to exist or diluted themselves from whatever case may be. But some of these cultures don't exist anymore for the very same thing. They had inner bickerings, they had situations where the men and the women didn't agree on things, and that caused separation. And as I say to people all the time, I want you to remember this when I speak about the Bible and things like that. You know, it is said that Adam had 2 wives. His first wife was Lilith. Lilith wouldn't listen to him, and she was disobedient and wouldn't submit to him, and therefore God replaced her with Eve. And we all know the story of Eve. Those women that are like that do nothing for the culture but antagonize it even more. She's pretty. Antagonize it even more, make it worse, and make it this cataclysm of nothing. I'm tired of that. And I think a lot of you guys that listen to me and come here, all 6,000 of you, I think you feel the same way. So one more time from the world famous Apollo Theater, I'm gonna go into the new decorum that I think men of color should have, instead of trying to show off in front of each other and be the one in the project hallway with the shiniest shoes. I'm gonna teach y'all how to invest your money into the stock market, which I've done before. I want to show you guys how to actually build upon the little bit of money that you have and how to invest it. Instead of taking it to Faha at the corner store, or instead of taking it to Mr. Chin at the Chinese restaurant, I'm going to show you how to do fraction shares and actually make you some money. Now, it'll be dependent on how much you invest, but every time that I get the chance and I have a few dollars, I throw them into my fraction shares. And I would say right now the most profitable one would be Apple, Tesla, and secondary I would say CZO. CZO is a very good stock to get involved in right now because of the pure simple fact it's a growing stock out of China. Capiche? So I'll talk to you guys a little bit later more about stocks and everything like that. Somebody, if you could, please write somebody did. Mary Israel, thank you so much. She wrote my Cash App in there. It's Cash App Stringer Bell 80. It's also in the description box, so guys, you can check that out. And so all y'all that check there, please hit those like buttons. If you don't hit it right now, hit it after, and I'll talk to you later. I got to run.